nimble yet fair to the culture of Fanbase, right? As we grow. And, it will be a challenge, but we have already some ideas and some plans, some strategies that we want to do. All right. So I just went ahead and I pinned the link up there. If you didn't know about it, we are doing a Regulation A reggae crowdfunding raise for $17 million. We have a 3-year plan that we really believe that is going to help us to grow exponentially, grow our user base, community, and also improve and grow our product as well. Okay. So if you haven't heard, click on the link. Minimum to invest is $3.99. And if there is an opportunity for you to see the change you do when you invest, this is it. Not only I can promise you that with investment, we make things happen. If you don't believe it, talk to any of the users that have been with us for the past 3-4 years. But also, you can use the product and make a difference on the valuation of the company. That's so powerful to me. This is not an investment of something that you just want to sit down there and just wait for the end of quarter report and see if the other people did the right thing for your investment. You actually can invest. You can use the app. You can share. You can tell someone else about it. You can create content. You are making a change with that investment. So, I know we keep repeating it, but we still believe crowdfunding has been around for quite some time, but the fact that you can invest in something that you can make a change is fairly new, and I want to emphasize how important it is. Every time I see a release, you know what I see? I don't only see, okay, we fixed bugs, we brought a new feature. We see that the product and the company has more value. This is all assets for the company too. The same to you. When you invest and you come as a user in Fanbase as a creator and you give us feedback, just giving us feedback, that's valuable to us, okay? You don't have to bring thousands of people or hundreds of thousands. That would be amazing, of course. Just, sharing, hey, guys, this is not working, or hey, guys, this could be better because of this and that. That just gives value to the company. And we feed from that, and we grow the company based on that as well, okay? So going back, if you're an investor, thank you very much. If you're thinking about investing, take your time, ask the right questions. You can ask whatever you want. But if you just don't want to invest and you just want to be a user that want to be part of the community and grow Fanbase, you're helping change and you're helping drive the value up. So I want to say thank you to that as well. Let's see. I'm seeing any questions. All right. I know it's 4th of July. Probably some of you have the phone on one hand and the grill on the other one, and you're probably grilling and you're at the pool. So I hope you're enjoying this 4th of July. As I mentioned when I first started, blessed to be in this country and the freedom that we get to have every day. All right. I saw some of you put your hand up, so I'm going to bring you up. Hey, look, how are you?
You.
Can you hear me? Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I appreciate the room. I had a quick question.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, from what I've heard, I'm new here, but from what I've heard, I've been told for people who've been here much longer than me, there's no algorithm currently, and they expressed that to me as far as the beauty of it and everyone seeing my post. But I wanted to ask, are there any plans to incorporate an algorithm Are there any plans to incorporate an algorithm in the near future? And if so, like timing-wise, at what stage will that be incorporated, if it will be?
Thank you for that question. So I'll start by saying that is not correct. We do have an algorithm, okay? Now, is it a perfect algorithm? Is it a 10-year TikTok algorithm? No, okay? We do have an algorithm. Now, what I always mention about the algorithm is that, unlike any other platform, the challenging thing about the algorithm is that we have 6 content creator verticals, and the experience in each one of those is different. The way you interact in audio or the way you're trying to find conversations is not the same as the way you're trying to look at stories or look at live streams and so on, right? So we do have an algorithm. In fact, we actually did a revamp of the algorithm mid last year, where we actually built the engine of the new algorithm, which is truly amazing. Now, that's the buildup of the engine. The algorithm then has to be worked throughout every content vertical. And to me, an algorithm is not just a way to show content. An algorithm is a way for you to be able to find relevant users when you're searching for users. It's for you to find relevant hashtags when you're searching for hashtags, right? So the algorithm needs to be implemented across the entire app. And we're actually doing that right now. In fact, the new algorithm has been applied to Flix, has also been applied at a level in audio rooms. So if someone from India joins the audio hallway, they're going to see that's a mistake. They will first see audio rules for India, and then they'll see everything else. Now, we are working right now in this sprint into bringing the new algorithm in other areas of the platform, okay? What is the main objective? Is to drive a like interest content. So it's all about what you like. So while you might think that the algorithm is not in some places, it is. Now, we need to improve it, and that's what we're doing right now. One of the big buckets on this race is to invest on the algorithms. I will also be transparent that we're growing a lot, but also with growth campaigns, and that pain is retention rate. In the social media world, a 2 to 3%, not counting the big boys, a 2 or 3% retention rate is a standard. We hate the standard. We want to do much better. Now, in the big boys, a 20, 30% retention is very common. That's what we want to go to, but to get there, we need to work on the algorithm. And that's why a lot of the money is going to go in bringing architecture, technology, and even skill set to improve the algorithm. So my promise to you is that, is the algorithm ideal today? No. Do we have an algorithm? We do. Will we be working every single sprint from now until the end of times, and it will be a focus? It will. In fact, the next, I would say, 3 sprints, you will see some algorithms improvements on the main feed, and even as new users on board, we're going to connect users to the right content quicker than ever, okay? So I want to say thank you for asking that, because I can see why sometimes users might say, you know what, there's no algorithm because I'm not getting as many views. There is one. Is it perfect? It's not. Are we working on it? You bet.
Okay, and Rama, do I have the space to ask one more question?
You do. Why not? Go ahead.
In Christ is a Christian content curation platform. And a part of why I came over here was due to the oppression and censorship of content that the faith space experiences on YouTube and even at times Clubhouse. And so my question is, in my mind, right, I see fan base comparable to Patreon, like an Instagram Patreon. I don't know if you're familiar with Patreon, but a lot of faith. Okay, so then great. So for sake of example, a lot of faith-based content creators go to Patreon because it seems to be like they, in their ethics, freedom of speech is pretty literal over there. When it comes to fan base, what does that look like for you guys in regards to expression and speech, and even how that applies to strong stances like faith or just beliefs as a whole?
Definitely. Thank you. I love that question. I started my audio room saying Happy 4th of July. And while I know that this platform is a worldwide platform, but for those in the United States, I say that I'm grateful to be here because it allows us to build fan base and bring fan base to where it is. And one of the things that Isaac, our founder and CEO, and I always talk about is that how can we always empower freedom of choice and freedom of speech, no matter if you agree or disagree, because disagreement in human nature, that's normal. And we gotta be okay with that, right? But what we don't want to do in everything that we do is we don't want to suppress. And that has to do with your first question, which is the algorithm, because a lot of times algorithms do suppression because the algorithms are trained to show a specific thing because maybe it has to be next to an ad for a specific company that they don't, they don't like a certain belief or a certain religion, right? So the great thing about Fanbase, and I'm going to answer one of the questions in the live stream by answering your question as well, is what differentiates Fanbase is that we're not an ad-centric platform. And by not being an ad-centric platform is that we're not tied to thinking what these companies or with these ads might like next to their ad in the algorithm, and we're not going to be suppressing. In fact, a lot of people that are being suppressed in TikTok, Instagram, are coming to Fanbase, and it's a breath of fresh air because we are really all about freedom of speech, no matter your religion, your culture. We are a minority-driven, Black-founded company, so we know what it feels like to be diminished, even if it's by content that we create. And our promise is to continue that as we grow on the algorithm, on the way we even communicate the features, being very culturally relevant and sensitive as well. So again, are we perfect? And are we going to be perfect? Are we going to miss here and there? Probably. But we strive for that perfection, which is we want everyone to feel welcome. We want everyone to share whatever they think, whatever they believe. And the great thing about communities is that you can have conversations if you want to have a like conversation or like interest with other people, or if you want to go into another community to disagree, you can do that as well. So hopefully answer your question. We're all about freedom of speech, and we want to implement that on the product side and even on the non-product side as well, Fanbase.
Yes, Rama, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome, definitely. All right, we have a few more questions that I want to answer. I know someone in the live stream asked, what's different about you and TikTok? So there's several things different, right? So number one, TikTok, they do have obviously short form videos, and they also have live streams, and they have many other things. But there's several things that TikTok doesn't have that we do. Number one is we're almost like a super app because we have almost every content vertical. So if you're a diverse content creator that you want to go into an audio room and have a conversation while you're doing live stream, you're able to do that in Fanbase. TikTok does not have audio rooms, for example. That's a big difference. So we have 6 content verticals: stories, live streams, audio, traditional media, which is images and videos up to 1 minute. We also have Fanbase Plus, which is long-form video content. Okay, so you can have up to 2 hours as well. Someone mentioned Patreon. We do the same thing, if not better than what Patreon does as well. So we really have a lot of options for the content creator or the content lover, that's someone that likes to consume, across all content verticals. Number 2, we're not ad-centric. So what you're going to see is that even though, and I'll talk a little bit about brands and organizations and so on, we don't build things around ads. We build things about the creator, the user, and their content. Because when the creator actually makes money, we make money. You can, even if you don't consider yourself a creator, when you post or you comment, or next week you go into the chat room and you make a comment, you will be able to make money. So you can make money from day one. In TikTok, a lot of times you got to put a lot of effort before you make your first dollar. In Fanbase, you don't. We've seen people actually migrating from TikTok and Instagram, because we actually have a migrator for TikTok and Instagram. You can bring all your content over, that have made $5 in the first week. They come to us and it's like, oh my God, I've been in TikTok for 3 years and I never made a single penny, and I made $5 in Fanbase 1 week. So that's another difference. Now, we're relatively young, right? We have a very ambitious product and business model, and so we do have a lot to work on. We do have a lot to work on the algorithm, some of the verticals, some things we need to iron out as far as experience. So there's obviously things that we need to catch up to other larger social medias that have been around for 10, 15, 20 years. But we feel very confident and strong about how we differentiate, to the point that we don't actually believe to be competitors to them. We believe that we are a downstream social media platform, which means that we don't ask you to really leave TikTok or Instagram. We're asking you to leverage your audience there and bring them to Fanbase, where you can truly make money, right? So again, I think in the future people will migrate to Fanbase. I feel very confident about it. But even if they don't, I'm very confident that they'll use Fanbase as a downstream media, where they say, you know what, I'm leveraging the millions of users or the billions of users I can get in TikTok to bring them into Fanbase so I can make $1,000, $2,000 a month. That's happening today, and it'll keep getting better and better in the future. Okay, so I'm sure I'm missing some other difference with TikTok, but hopefully I gave you an idea of how we differentiate ourselves from them. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I want to do a wrap-up summary as we approach the end of the hour. How important is privacy and security for fan-based users to fan-base? I love that question, Damon. So privacy, it is very important, to the point where we actually revamp our privacy policy and terms and conditions, terms of services, the beginning of this year. And the reason why we do it is because when we first started as a startup, as a bootstrap startup, we actually follow some of the privacy policies of some of the other bigger players. And as we grew as a company, we realized that there were a lot of statements and things that didn't make sense. One of them, for example, that you have in every platform is that in every platform, they say, hey, you're not the owner of your content. We are the owner for perpetuity. So that means that even though you guys might love us, but if we sell the company, not that we're going to do it, by the way, if we sell the company, next year, then whoever comes aboard, they own your content. So we learned through all these years about things that were not right for the user and the creator, and we adjusted those to the point where the perpetuity is no longer there. That was brought by actually a user earlier in our life through the audio room. So another example how we how we listen to the user too. So it's super important. Now, again, just like I always say, is it perfect? No. We will have to change it as, the environment and life changes. Yes. Okay. So privacy is super, super important. In fact, in Q3, one of our OKRs objectives are how we can improve community by giving you tools that really allows you to have that privacy. Sometimes privacy means give me all the tools that I need. So if I don't want to hear from that guy, or if I don't want to engage with that user, I can do it. I can really be me without limits in the sense that I can choose that. That's privacy too, right? So we are going to bring features that are going to aim at having a better, safer environment as well, okay? Now, when it comes to security, because one thing is privacy, they're related, there is security, it is important, but to be honest, that's an ever ongoing effort that we do. We learn things every day. We always try to push ourselves, and we learn from users. Sometimes users come to us as like, hey, I love your app. Just have in mind that, you should be careful with this, tweak it here, because this can happen, and we take it and we fix it. So we always prioritize. There's always going to be small things that could be better security-wise, but when we see a loophole or something, we act right away. We have a pretty robust infrastructure, and our infrastructure team is pretty great. But again, there's going to be improvements in security as we grow. We do security audits every year, and we would like to do it more often. Part of the money that we're going to get from this race is, can we do that more often and make it, and I would love to even do a hackathon, so I can say some of the supers say, come on over and help us improve the security, right? Hopefully one day we will. So it's super important, but there's so much that we need to tackle that sometimes we need to prioritize what we do. But freedom of speech, privacy, security, focus on the algorithms are really pillars in the short-term future of Fanbase as well, and the present. Okay. All right. Memories Joy, 2-3%. We consider it low for sure. I was just saying that in the social media industry, without considering the exceptions, the TikToks and the Instagram, the average is 2 to 4%. It's crazy, right? So that's what we say. We don't want to get to that. We want to do much more. We want to do it 20-30%. And, there's a lot of things that we're doing to improve that. And in fact, it's an OKR that we have every quarter this year. Every quarter this year. All right. Damon, yeah. So we do have Fanbase on web. It's limited, of course. We don't have a web application per se. But for those that have MacBook Pro with M1 chip and above, you can use Fanbase on your Mac. In fact, I use it. When I work, I have the Fanbase app open, and I answer messages through there and so on. We don't have a web application per se, but our web platform is responsive, mobile first. So the features that we have in the web platform, they're very user-friendly for web as well. We'll continue growing web, but we want to be very conscious. We don't necessarily want to have exactly everything we have in app in web. We want to be very conscious of what we bring, but we're going to keep improving web as well. And who knows, maybe in the future, rather than being a responsive website, might be a web application. Okay? All right. That's some awesome questions for 4th of July. I came in here saying, you know what, everyone's going to be celebrating. We're not going to have a lot of people, and you guys really brought some great, amazing questions, okay? All right, it's 5:53. I'm going to do a summary of what we discussed today, and then we call it a day. Don't worry, we have this every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, so if you are still wanting to ask a question, sorry, Skel. Pascal, I'll bring you up the last minute so you can help me close the room. All right, so we started by talking about the release that happened yesterday. We have a new release, 3.0.1 for iOS, 3.0.2 for Android. Exciting. We optimized the size of iOS. So for those regions that are outside of the United States and you struggle with bandwidth and infrastructure, you will be able to have a better experience with Fanbase downloading it and even using it. We did a lot of cosmetic and functionality improvement to the new feed that we brought a month ago. Some of the audio and even animations and the way we show usernames and verification badges and so on, and many other fixes as well. I also talked about Sprint 97 that we started today. We have 2-week sprints. We are working on Lab and Chat Room is coming next week. That's pretty awesome. I'm super excited for those that love chatting in chat rooms. I mentioned that we are working on 2 web increments, hallway on web, and also audio calendar on web as well. So if you have a recurring audio room happening every week, please reach out to the marketing team and let them know so we can consider you for that calendar. It will bring a lot of visibility to your audio rooms. I also mentioned that we partner with Branch.io. We're doing a lot of insights improvements that will allow us to understand what drives virality and how we can drive virality, and then we're going to cater that to you so you can create better content and make more money. Among many other things that we're doing, we're a humble yet nimble and super proud product team of 20-some engineers, product people, QA, UX, UI. Some of them are in this audio room. I want to say thank you for you guys. You guys, I know it's a lot. We do a lot, but you guys are making such a big difference for Fanbase and for the world. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. If you ever doubt it, never do that. With that said, I'm going to bring Big Scale, and then we're going to call it a day. I'm grilling myself too, so I got to go and check on my grill. I'm grilling barbecue ribs. I love grilling, by the way, guys. What's up, Big Skill? How are you?
Hey, Rama, I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to know, so if you have already invested in Fanbase, already went through, and you invested at a certain tier, specifically the one where you get to try out products first, when does that happen? Because I know, like, when we do updates, it just happens for everybody at the same time.
Yeah, thanks for that question. So that will be from tier 1 all the way to tier 5. So if you invest $600 or more, you are part of that tier. One of the things that I'm pushing for us to get better at is, because it's a chicken and the egg type thing. We're in the growth phase where sometimes we have the need to release things quickly, right? But sometimes release quickly doesn't mean that you're releasing efficiently, because what I would love to do for some of these functionalities is we have the increment ready. Could we release it? Yes. Let's bring some of the users and let them use them. Let's get some feedback and adjust it, and then put it out there maybe 2 or 4 weeks later, right? A lot of times we're not able to do that because we're sometimes on a race to be the first one to do something, or we see a value, right? So when that will happen is I'm going to try to do that, for example, for exclusive live stream and some of the big monetization tools that are coming. Something that we're definitely going to be doing is on RTMP. So if you're a gamer or you want to do RTMP, we will do that. So we're going to do better. That's what I can promise. We have that list already, so you don't have to reach out to support or anything. We know who in every round invested what amount and kind of what tier they are. So expect to hear from us telling you, hey, if you have iOS, download this test flight so you can test the new increment and give us feedback by this day. If you have Android, give us your Google email and we'll invite you. So it'll be soon scale, because one of the things that we promise ourselves as a company in Q3 is how we can create feedback loops that really tells us what's working, from subscriptions all the way to onboarding. Hopefully you've been some of the onboardings where Maddie, for example, is constantly asking, hey, what is working for you? What is not working? What would you like to see? This being part of the, feature beta testers is part of these feedback loops that we want to create, and we got to do better. I know that. So I appreciate you bringing it. Yeah, I know you more than anyone. You called us to the fire, so please do so. Keep coming and saying, hey, when am I going to invite it? But you will.
Absolutely. And as far as RTMP, if we can do the Michael Jackson experience, then I got you. Other than that, I don't know anything about games.
No problem. Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you, guys. It's 5:59. Every Thursday, 5 p.m. I'll be here no matter where. I'm actually traveling. I'm going to fly in across Europe. I'm going to go to several countries. And no matter where I am, I'm going to be doing this audio room. I'll tell you where I am. I'll tell you a little bit of, hopefully some of the users from that country is going to join us. But I will be here. I love being here and hearing from you guys. No matter if it's a challenge, it's something that you're not happy about, it just makes us better. It really does. So I want to say thank you to our investors, users, new users. Welcome to Fanbase. Stick around. There's a lot of great things in Fanbase. It's a great community. Go into camps and try to search for interest. If you love soccer, if you love football, if you love music, art, there's a lot of great community camps in there that you can be part of. And we're going to bring camps outside audio as well. So don't feel like you have to be an audio user, okay? So I encourage you to grow community. And sometimes the best way to grow it is to share your content and share the good word about Fanbase. So I encourage you to definitely do that, all right? Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day for those in the U.S. And I want to say thank you. We'll be talking next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.